Thank you for staying tuned now to the newspaper headlines and analysis on this very broadcast. Of course, we check the stories that are breaking and making the rounds across the platforms in the country, Nigeria. And I have with me in the studio, Lekan Shobowale, public affairs analyst and a journalist. Good morning to you, Lekan.
Good morning, Anu. How are you?
It's a good day to be alive.
Yes, thank God.
Especially maybe because some are defecting and others are staying. We'll get into the stories. Yeah, some are. Maybe you are also one of them. We should.
I'm not a card-carrying member of a political party yet.
All right. So let's start with the story. 24 hours after Mba joined APC, Diri abandons PDP. PDP seems to keep mum on the next move. They seem not to talk. Yesterday was also in the print that PDP is bleeding, according to a particular newspaper. But I want to get your comprehensive, thoughts on this. I want to know what you think about this. I want you to wade into this situation. PDP, is there any chance for PDP come 2027 presidential election? Speak to this.
Let me first of all say that I sincerely sympathize with PDP. This is indeed a trying period, or a trying moment for PDP, especially now that they're having their national convention. They're running so fast, and losing two governors in less than 48 hours, it's highly grieving, disastrous, and one don't even know how to sympathize with them. And going by the information that we are having, we still have like 3 or 4 governors from PDP that will be joining the APC. Well, what can I say? Nigerian Constitution gives a freedom of association. I can decide to be your friends tomorrow, and in the next 1 week, again do otherwise. So, but I've read so many comments, write-ups, castigating some of these governors, some of these directors. Number one thing, the first thing is, why are they defecting? There is a provision for that whenever your party is in crisis, you are very free to leave your party and move to your, the next
to the other party. Yes,
you understand. Everybody knows that PDP is not the same PDP that we used to know, and that there are skirmishes of internal crisis, from their chairman Tamagun to the secretary of their party, Anyabu, who is now a close ally of Minister Nyesom Wike. Now, even whenever you see Wike, flagging off, commissioning APC-led federal government projects, you always see PDP National Secretary in attendance. So that tells you that, something is wrong somewhere, in the PDP. And you can see our governor here, Governor Sheyi Makinde, why some people are saying that he's working seriously to have the ticket of presidential ticket of PDP, and it's not going down well with so many of the governors. So, and some of these governors, it becomes worrisome when you see a second-time governor moving to another party, a second-time governor. But I've come to understand that most of these governors, they're only, fighting for their survival. It's a battle of survival. So that they want to have a safe landing, and they want to enjoy their retirement in peace. Let me tell you, some people are saying one party states and one party states and one party. This is not the first time this type of thing will be happening. It happened in 1998 when late General Sani Abacha, after the banning of SDP and NRC, late General Sani Abacha, came in with 5 political parties. And all of them, in early 1998, they all came together and adopted late General Sani Abacha as the president, for October 1st, 1998. But thank God, there was a divine intervention at that time. You know, in 2002, 2003, during the government of my great-granduncle, I mean, not late now, but great-granduncle, yes, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, it happens. It happens, you know. Then we have almost 29, 28 governors of PDP. I can still remember in Southwest, PDP swept 5 Southwest states, leaving Lagos State, then former Governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It goes round the nation then. And that was why that time PDP was boasting that they are going to govern the state for 50 years. You know, it happens. So this is not the first time that something like this will happen. But yes, for people that are, for political observers, for historians, you know, that are talking about a one-party state, yes, you know, it depends. You know, nobody is being, I have not heard from any of the governors that they are being, okay, take for instance in our state. I know of a top politician in this state, you know, who has been a member of PDP since 1999. He has never decamped. In person of former Deputy Chief Whip of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Ose Ayolagbola, popularly called Hallelujah. He has never for one day defected from PDP to another party. But now he has also resigned his membership of PDP in Oyo State. At least he is not a governor. He is not holding any political party. So, you know, like I used to say, you know, average Nigerian politicians, they are greedy and selfish. You understand? They always, yes, you can give it to a first-time governor, you know, that thinks that, okay, the best thing for me, if I want to secure a second-term ticket, is to go to the ruling party who is having a majority. But how do you now define, or what do you now say about the second-term governor that is exiting that position in the next 2 years? What is the problem going to the ruling party?
Okay, I think I appreciate how you've given us an historical context. I love context for one. So you've given us an historical context. You've more like given us the situational context. But let's look at projections. What does this really mean for the PDP?
Yes, you know, it means a lot for the PDP. You know, if PDP is not careful, you know, PDP may be nearing its end. Yes, if it's not careful. Because let's look at it. Even those that are now in PDP talked about Osun State Governor. He has publicly declared, you know, his intention to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, even as a sitting PDP governor. So, look at other PDP governors talk of Plateau State. They are saying that he will also be joining Fubara. Will also be joining. So, it means that PDP, if care is not taken, if something is not done urgently, may be nearing its end. And, you know, like I used to say, as we speak, the only opposition party that we have now in Nigeria is PDP. You know, ADC is not yet a political party, it's just a coalition. You know, I was listening to Peter Obi yesterday when he was saying that he's still a member of the Labour Party, but also a member of coalition party. What is coalition party? So PDP is the only viable, reliable, and recognized opposition party as we speak in Nigeria as at this morning. So if something like this is happening to PDP, that means we may be ending up not having a viable opposition political party in Nigeria, which is not too good for our democracy.
All right, there's a story I want us to quickly speak to very quickly now. It's on Daily Trust newspaper. It says fuel price climbs to 1,000 naira as queues resurface. So if you check this with what this administration has been saying again and again, you probably see there's a bit of contrast to say the economy has improved, to say you are getting the data for the FX policy and some of the projections in the economics of this country. Now, to now say now, the Pengasan, Dangote, NLC issue is also still somewhere there. And it seems like this is the case now. The fuel price is climbing to 1,000 naira as queues resurface.
Well, for me, I bought it this morning. I bought it at 925 naira this morning. And I don't know. I'll move around to my way coming. I saw that in Ibadan, I don't know of any other part of the country, in Ibadan, I can tell you, you know, categorically that there is no queue in Ibadan.
For now.
As at this morning, there is no queue in Ibadan. But I don't know. You know, I may be tempted to link this. You know, this has nothing to do with the federal government. You know, everything cannot be federal government, federal government, federal government. Don't forget, you know, the continued issues, you know, the continued conflict between the Pengassan, the Nopeng, and the Dangote, you know, refinery. You know, I think this is by now we should not be talking of queues. You know, whatever queues that we have in Nigeria as of today is just, you know, an artificial queue. It is not real, because in Nigeria, NNPC has confirmed that we have more than enough PMS. Dangote refinery is saying that there are more, you know, we have more than enough that Dangote is even exporting to neighboring countries. So I will not be, you know, throwing that part of attributing this to the federal government. But I can only urge the federal government to take a practice step before this artificial PMS scarcity, you know, degenerated. That is all I can say.
Yeah, another story from the Punch newspaper says Senate is about to screen Amupitan today. Yes. Now, Peter Obi has called on Amupitan to be a man of integrity. What do you say to Amupitan?
Yes, I will also lend my voice to that of Peter Obi, that the man should live above board. You know, see, let me tell you, even when you are saying, if Peter Obi is telling Amupitan to be a man of integrity because of 2027 general election, are we still having 2027 general election in Nigeria? Because, you know, before 2027, don't be surprised, we may be having, out of 36 states, we may be having APC governors in 32, 33 states. So when you're having, when a ruling party, for that matter, is having 33, 32 states, you know, so how can someone like Peter Obi be thinking about winning 2027 election? I don't know, but I also believe in miracle. But I don't think there is, you know, I was watching former governor yesterday, Peter Efashi. He was congratulating President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that what do you want to do? I don't understand. You know, I don't know the miracles that the opposition or the coalition party, I don't know the miracle they want to put up. Because when you're having APC governor of 29 states, how do you win election?
In fact, the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, said he's expecting 30 governors. So
with 30 APC governors, how do you want to win election? Every politics is local. It's local. So how do you intend to win election with APC 30 state governors? Tell me that miracle when each of the governors will be holding forth his territory. If you are having 30 APC governors, maybe you can say that, okay, it is the people that will determine. Good. But are you telling me that 30 APC governors, out of the 30, APC will not be able to win 26, 27 states?
Are you saying Peter Obi doesn't have a chance?
See, I'm not God though. I'm not God. But I'm saying this from my personal opinion. You know, I don't see Peter Obi. See, let me give you an instance. November 5 will be Anambra State governorship election. And people have been telling Peter Obi to go back to Anambra and win Anambra State for Labour Party. Let us begin from there. You are popular. People like you. Abi, charity begins at home. So let Peter Obi, let him go back to Anambra State. On November 5, let us hope, let us believe that the INEC will declare Labour Party governorship candidate as the winner of Anambra State governorship election. That is when I can even say anything about Peter Obi. See, it is not enough. Let me give you an instance. Omoyele Sowore, whenever I see Omoyele Sowore going around, moving out, walking around, you see people following him. Does that translate to electoral victory? You don't understand. So, you know, it is not about obedient movement. It is not about Peter Obi. You know, elections goes beyond street credibility. I get one. So I will want to see Anambra State in November 5 being won by the governorship candidate of the Labour Party. That is where let the Labour Party wins November 5 governorship election in Anambra. They will now come back and discuss Peter Obi. I think that would be the very best thing to do.
Yes, I guess just before that too, there's a story about Peter Obi that he says he can change Nigeria's trajectory in 4 years. You know, and he's adding all of this to his fellows to say, these are the things I can do. Do you think he can do this?
I don't see. It is I can build Dominion Studio in just 1 month. It is very easy to say. It's a word of your mouth. You can change Nigeria trajectory in 4 years. Yes, you know, he is conceiving it, but we are all Nigerians. We understand how things work in Nigeria. It is not possible.
It's not possible for him or for anybody to try to change the story.
See, let me tell you one thing. You know, we have so much. We have systemic corruption. We have systemic failure in Nigeria. How can you tackle systemic corruption within the 4 years? You were elected. Before you appoint your minister, it will take you like 6 months. Before your minister will be settled down, it will take them like another 6 months. You put up policies. Before you see most of this policy, you know, working, it takes you another 1 to 2 years. And in Nigeria, we have just 2 years for governance. By third year, you'll be talking about the next election. So how do you now want to change? You know, when these people talk, they always believe that Nigerians are not daft. It's just that Nigerians don't know what to do. You know, when all this minority, all these influential politicians come and tell you, see, you will see someone that will tell you, I can change Nigeria in just 1 year. Obi needs an opportunity. Obi is seeking for an opportunity to govern Nigeria. So have you not heard Obi saying that he will spend just 4 years? Have you not heard him saying that? And political observers are saying that, but why? This man can lie you. How can you say you will just spend 4 years and go? These are things that are not possible. It is so difficult. If you want to spend 4 years as president of Nigeria, if you are sincere that you want to spend 4 years, you will now see your people. Don't forget Jonathan. Jonathan spent 2 years, another 4 years, and he said he will go in. And you see some people, I cannot remember the name of that man. The man, former senator, the man is late now. You know, the man gathered a lot of signatures, millions of signatures. He went to President Goodluck Jonathan and presented it to him and said Nigerians want him to continue as Nigerian president.
Let me get your thoughts on this. I'm sure you are abreast of the presidential pardon of this current administration just recently. Now, a lot of people are now calling and urging the president to vet submitted names for presidential pardon. Some have even questioned the names that were on the list of the presidential, pardon at the time. What do you make of this?
Well, when that decision was being taken, I was not there, so I don't know, the yardstick for the pardon. But like some Nigerians, I'm also worried that president pardon.
How about Macaulay Ogoni 9?
It's not even you can pardon about Macaulay, you can pardon Ogoni 9. What would be the reasons for pardoning a big time kidnapper? What would be the reason, justification for pardoning almost 56 drug baons? 56, what are the justifications? What would be a reason for pardoning someone that killed his husband, that had just spent 2 years out of his sentence? I'm also worried. I don't know. The presidency, our guy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, has not been able to come out and tell us the justifications. Yes, pardoning is good, forgiveness is good. But when you can pardon the Ogonifo. What has been the offenses of Ogonifo? Because they are fighting and they are talking for their people, right? Abba Macaulay, is Abba Macaulay still alive now? All those ones are not. But pardoning 56 drug dealers, convicted by the court, what are the justifications? What are the reasons? Pardoning someone that killed, that stabbed her husband to death, you pardon. What are the justifications? So I'm also worried. You understand? But I cannot say, because I've been watching out for Mr. Bayo Onanuga to come out and tell us, maybe by the time presidency comes out and give us reasons why these steps were taken, then maybe we can now speak to that. But for now, I'm not too happy. There are some things that there are some things that will happen and you just who will I what are the reasons, what are the justifications? Nobody is answering all those things. So by the time the presidency comes out and tell us the reasons, maybe then we can know what to say to their reasons.
All right, let's talk about Nigeria is losing a bid to host Commonwealth Games. Now that's like talking sports and some of these things. Nigeria is also set to play Gabon in the next few days. Okay, I think the next month rather.
Next month.
Yeah, so all of that we are still seeing. Is there hope for the Super Eagles before we move on to something else?
Yes, I see Super Eagles going to work. I see it, I saw it in my dream. I saw it in my dream that I saw Super Eagles at USA and Mexico. So, I was so happy. I was so happy on Tuesday. I watched the match. I was so happy, and with what I saw, Gabon will not be that team that will stop Nigeria from going to. You can take
so you think it's a walkover for Nigeria?
You can take it to the bank that Nigeria will be at.
It's on record, man. It's actually on record. Now, the Sultan of Sokoto said something quite interesting recently. He said he's seeking social media regulation at Ulama meeting. I think he's been calling also for a restriction kind of for social media use, especially with youth. And this is also common. Some countries, not even Nigeria, have also placed ban on social media promotions and all of these things that people do. But again, that erupted into a protest in a particular country, and it's still biting hard, it's still affecting the economy, it's still killing people as we speak. But what do you make of Sultan's claim to say there should be regulation at a particular meeting?
Yes, social media, it's become so disheartening that we don't have an agency, or we don't have a regulator regulating, social media in Nigeria. Yes, when you look at some of you go to Facebook, you go to Instagram, you see what people are talking out, of all those social media. Then you now get worried that I think there is a need for a social media regulation, social media agencies. Regulating the social media does not mean, some people will be saying, they will be talking about freedom of speech, freedom. No, even when you are talking about all those fundamental human rights, there should be limitations, and I know there are still some limitations to that. So I'm also supporting the Sultan of Sokoto that the federal government should take a decisive steps in ensuring that social media. Go to Facebook. Facebook is the most prominent and the popular of all these social media. Go to Facebook, see what people are posting on their pages. Go to TikTok, go to Instagram, see what people are churning out. So it is very important. The examples that you gave, is the Nepal. You are talking about Nepal. That is a different. The issue has been on for a very long time. You understand? The social media, is just the social media is just the climax of the issue. So it is not really the social media, that prop up that crisis in the past. But there has been a lot of just like in Nigeria, when people are advising government, calling out government and all those stuff, and government is possibly they are not listening. You understand? So social media is just like you put a petrol and you just put a fire. So it is very important for the federal government to just ensure that social media you know, they find a means of, see, all professions, you know, or majority of professions in Nigeria have regulatory agencies, and most of the things that we do are being regulated. So social media is becoming so prominent, is becoming so acceptable, you know, across ages, ethnics, and nationalities. So there is a need for the federal government to make sure that it is well regulated.
Thank you very much, Lekan Shobowale, public affairs analyst and a journalist. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for staying tuned.